doing the business and just work my ass off to fill the pipeline and make sure that I keep moving forward in my business, and then having some level of faith that things are going to work out, you know. But there's no, I mean, what you're experiencing is something that every single entrepreneur, regardless of whether it's network marketing or any other traditional business, I mean, how many books have you read by successful entrepreneurs that talk about that critical time in their business or in their life where they didn't know how they were going to be able to make payroll, or they didn't know how they were going to be able to pay their suppliers, or they didn't know whether they were able to keep their doors open for one more week, where they were just like right on the edge, and that was the turning point. That's when everything turned around. So, and network marketers as an individual, we go through the same thing. At certain points in our career, there's situations where, like, for example, when my first company went away, you know, I was with Excel for 13 years, and they went away, and I had $22,000 a month in overhead and a zero cash flow. And I had savings and I had some real estate, but I knew I couldn't do it forever. But I was going through $20,000 a month in every single month. I was going through $20,000 a month in expenses. And so there was a lot of fear around that. Like, and I remember the real strong emotions around, like, what am I going to do? What do I do now? Like, I don't have any source of income and my cash flow is completely gone. What do I do? And so, but in those moments, it's like, remember when we were talking about your struggle is your story. In those moments, that creates the drive, it creates the motivation, it creates the urgency. It sometimes will even cause you to discover skills that you didn't even know you had.
I've got a question for you, Jordan. Something that I'm trying to ingrain into the culture of my own organisation, and sometimes we struggle with, is creating excitement and urgency in a new distributor. And sometimes I find that I'm more excited than them about their business.
I think that in doing that, I think you're better off. Personally, I think that you'll get better results with that if that's done in a group setting versus an individual. You can be a lot more brutally honest with people when it's with a group, because you're talking to the group. You're not talking to any one particular person. So you can be talking to the group, and you can be real strong with the group, where it's more difficult to be strong with an individual without putting, you know, because you're at some level it almost feels like you may be putting them down a little bit.
Sure.
So by sending them a conference call that you've done that addresses that, like, but it's got to be both sides of it. Both sides of it meaning it's got to focus on the dream, the future of a better life, but because of what they create in their network marketing business, but also the pain of not doing it. So you need both, the dream and the pain. The pain of what does it feel like to constantly having to be behind the curve financially every single month? What price has your family paid because you didn't take the action to fulfill your commitment to creating something better, a better life for your family? So there's the pain of it, and then there's also the dream, like what's lying on the other side of financial struggle that would provide you with a level of freedom that you could never ever possibly find in a job or a traditional business.
I think that raises a really important question that's been on my mind, which is when we stumble across a prospect or a new distributor that has a big why, they have a big reason for doing this business, why they still would quit early on despite the fact that they've got a huge why. Is it just that they're not ready for success? I mean,
well, it's no, okay, so wanting something is different than deserving something. And just because I want to fly helicopters doesn't mean that I'm allowed to get in a helicopter and fly on my own, no matter how bad I want it. So you're talking about the person that really wants success. They really want to have a better life. They really want to live their dreams. Well, wanting doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference. Deserving, on the other hand, is when somebody pays the price. They learn the skills. They learn the mindset. They drive the miles. They fly the miles. They show they do the presentations, and they've they've sponsored distributors and signed up customers and they've helped their team, and so those people, they've paid the price and they deserve to have success. So that's a different conversation, deserving versus wanting. And so to answer the question why some people, when they figure out that it's actually going to take work and they're going to have to give up some things like TV or softball or whatever
the football
it is,
match,
football,
going to the pub.
Yeah, pub. When they figure out they have to give up some things to have the life of their dreams that they say they want, then it becomes just too overwhelming. But at the same time, it's like how many people go into a gym and they buy a monthly gym membership and they have big dreams of getting in the shape that they were in college, and they start going to the gym and they finally realize after 3 workouts that this is going to be work and it's not going to happen real fast, and then they quit and they keep paying their monthly fee but they never go. They pay their monthly membership but they never go back. That's most people. So to answer your question, I don't know that I don't really know that there's anything you can do about that. It's like really that drive and desire has to come 100% from them. It has to come from them. And because you can't babysit them, the only thing you can do is give them the tools, and then at some point they're going to have to dig deep to figure out whether this is something that's important enough to them to do the work.
So how do you feel about the difference between
I just realized I'm out of gas. We got enough to get to where we're going.
So we need to stop up and get some gas.
We're fine. We're fine for a little bit.
Okay. And so what do you think that when you're dealing with a prospective distributor, wanting it versus needing it? So they're taking a look at the business.
Wanting it versus deserving it.
Right.
Wanting it versus deserving it. So deserving it means I deserve to fly helicopters now because I went through 2 years of training and I passed my tests, and I've been checked off by a check ride guy, and I've gone through all the training. So now I'm prepared to safely fly. I'm prepared to safely fly a helicopter. So I deserve to fly a helicopter. Versus before, I just wanted it. Wanting it doesn't make a difference. I could want it. I could have a big, huge why, and that doesn't make a difference. Having a huge why doesn't make a difference unless you've prepared yourself.
Yeah. And
preparing yourself means building the team and creating the volume that produces the checks. That's deserving it. If I build a big team with a lot of volume, I deserve to have a check. But if I don't, wanting it makes no difference.